In this video, I'm going to show you how to speed up the process of growing Arisaema, the Jack-in-the-pulpit plant, from seed. I'm not going to go into detail about the whole process. I've done that in a separate video, and I'll put a link to that video at the end of this one. So if you're not quite sure how to grow them from seed, have a look at that video. The point of this video is to show you how to speed up that standard process. Let me describe the process in general terms. You'll get some seed in midwinter and you'll start the germination process. It generally takes 4 to 8 weeks for that seed to germinate. And I've had good luck with all the Arisaemas I've tried. When they germinate, they'll make one leaf. The plant I'm going to show you here is our native Arisaema triphyllum, and it generally has a leaf with 3 leaflets on it. But that first leaf out of a newly germinated seed will only have a single leaf. That now grows for a couple months and then it dies back. So normally by the middle of summer the plant's underground. Since the leaf is only there for a short period of time, it only produces small tubers. It now stays underground for the rest of the summer, through fall, and all of winter. Next spring it'll make a new leaf. That's now its second year, and this time it could be a single leaf, or in some species you actually see a leaf that has more leaflets on it. It normally takes 4 to 5 years to get a plant to flower. Sometimes you can do it in 3 years if you're doing a really good job. Now, one of the reasons it takes so long is that the plant makes a leaf and it only stays above ground for a couple months. And then it goes back underground. So there's a very short window where it's able to capture sunlight, make food, and send it down to grow a bigger tuber. And we want to speed up that process. And this is how we do it. We want to get 2 growing periods in 1 calendar year. That will knock a year off the whole process. This past spring and winter, I tried this process to try and speed things up, and it worked quite well. So in this video, I'm going to show you my results. Last fall, I found a Arisaema growing in the woods that had a really big fruit. And so I put an organza bag over top of it so the animals would leave it alone. If you've never done that, I have another video that will show you how to do that. Anyways, the plant was out in the woods and I totally forgot about it. Somewhere around the 1st of December, I was out in the woods. All the leaves were off the tree so I could see everything clearly. And here's this big red fruit sitting in the field. So I harvested the seeds, brought them inside, cleaned them up, got rid of all the fruit around the seeds. That's important because there's inhibitors in that fruit. So around December 1st, I started the germination process. And I used my standard baggie method for that. I find this method works so well for almost every kind of seed, and especially for Arisaemas. Almost all the Arisaema I've tried to germinate will germinate in 4 to 8 weeks using this method. So what about the seed I collected? Well, some of that seed started germinating in 2 weeks, which was really quick. And I wonder if being outside during the cold spell in December sped up the process. In any event, I had some seeds germinating after 2 weeks, so I potted up all the seeds. Because I know from experience, once a few start, the others are only a few days or a week or 2 behind. As you can see in the pot, they grew really well. Each seed made a stem and 1 little leaflet on it. And these are quite small. These leaflets are, about 1 inch across. So there's not a lot of leaf to collect light. And I was growing these under lights. And the trick here is to grow them as long as possible, but the plant is just genetically programmed not to grow very long. After a couple months, the plant loses that leaf and it goes dormant underground. By mid-February, I had some of the plants dying back, and others were still germinating. So you can see a combination of leaves here. Some are quite pale and dry, and others are fresh and green. By March 1st, most of the leaves had died back, and I decided to speed up that process a little bit. I unpotted the whole thing, found all the little tubers, and put them in a baggie and put them in the fridge. This gave them the cold period equivalent to a winter rest. and I left them in there for about 6 to 8 weeks. On May 1st, I potted up the tubers again and warmed them up and put them under lights. As you can see in this picture, by early June, some of the plants had already developed a new leaf, and this time it was a 3-part leaf. Right now it's the end of June, and I have some leaves that have been out for a month and new leaves forming underneath. All of these tubers are now starting to make their leaves, and these leaves will now grow for another 2 months until early fall. At that point, they'll go dormant, go underground again for another winter. So why use this process to germinate Arisaema? Well, I had 2 growing periods in 1 calendar year. So I've knocked off a whole year of growth before I'll see flowers. That's pretty significant if you think about it. Instead of taking 4 or 5 years to flower, these will now take 3 to 4 years to flower. And that's a whole lot better. It's still a slow process, but Arisaema are really easy to grow. I hope you give this a try and let me know what you find with other species of Arisaema. As promised, there's a link in the top right hand corner that will take you to my video that explains all the details of how to germinate and grow Arisaema. I hope you grow some Jack-in-the-pulpits for yourself. It's fun.